What's up, Hudson? This is Davis Warren, quarterback for the University of Michigan football team. I really just want to reach out as a guy who's kind of been through it and came out the other side.
Michigan quarterback Davis Warren knows what it's like to fight and overcome, and how quickly life can change.
People just kind of gravitated to him. Here I have this super healthy kid on a great path, and your world just is completely turned upside down.
In March of 2019, Davis says he began feeling tired and weak. After a series of tests, the then 17-year-old was diagnosed with leukemia, a cancer of the blood and bone marrow. He began chemotherapy treatments immediately.
Lost probably 25 to 30 pounds pretty quickly. The worst part of going through cancer is just the way you lose that sense of self. You really do ask yourself, what does that mean for me and who I am as a person? You ask those questions of, man, like, am I even gonna make it? Am I gonna survive? Like, am I gonna get through this?
After 5 months of treatment, Davis was deemed cancer-free on August 12, 2019. And on October 4th, he was back on the high school football field for his junior season. But when he arrived at Michigan as a walk-on in 2021, he says he was reluctant to share that part of his past.
I think he wanted to be accepted, and he wanted to be known as a quarterback and as a leader and a football player first. He didn't want to be known as a kid with leukemia.
I wanted nothing to do with the hospital or cancer. I didn't want anyone to know. But then when I got to Michigan, my story started to get out a little bit. People were reaching out to me saying, hey, you know, my son or daughter or grandson is going through something similar to what you went through. You mind like sending him a video?
That fall, Davis began making regular trips to the University of Michigan Health C.S. Mott Children's Hospital to visit kids fighting cancer like he once was.
I think he realized, wow, these kids are so excited to meet me, and I would have loved to have someone like this in the hospital.
For me to look at them in the eye and say, hey, I've been in your position. I went through this. I could see how much of a difference that made.
One of those kids was Michigan fan Hudson Gazy, who was diagnosed with leukemia 2 years ago when he was 5.
It was like they were best buddies, like they had known each other forever. It was something I hadn't really seen before in Hudson.
Throughout Hudson's treatment, the two have talked regularly, with Davis even visiting Hudson at home and attending one of his baseball games.
It's just been an honor to get to know him and be there for him when he needed me. It's grown into a full-on friendship.
It showed Hudson that he can do it, that if a kid like Davis could get through it, that he could too.
In what way did being friends with Davis make you feel better?
Knowing that I had the best friend that was a college football player and a nice person that who went through it with me.
2 weeks ago, Hudson was deemed cancer-free, and his family threw him a no more chemo party.
There was like over 100 people there.
Hudson, Hudson.
I ran through the tunnel. And then I got to play football and stuff.
Yeah.
And then all my teachers were there.
And so was Davis Warren.
And I was so excited. I ran and gave him a big hug.
Hudson felt like the coolest kid ever to have the starting quarterback of the University of Michigan at his no more chemo party, throwing passes, hanging out with the kids.
Being able to show them that, like, hey, cancer can be a part of your journey without defining who you are, that's a really special thing. It's been just so gratifying and made me feel like my journey was worth it 1,000 times over.